Good evening. We'd like to welcome you all out this evening. We're glad you're here. Call this meeting to order, and we will have the Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Perkins. Afterwards, we'll have an invocation by Ms. Lazardi.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, you know every veteran by name. You know their deeds, their hard work, and their sacrifices. Please bring healing to those veterans who still hurt. Please grant patience and wisdom to those around them and let them know how much their fellow citizens honor and appreciate them. Father, as we talk about people around our veterans, may we also include families that will be gathering together during this Thanksgiving holiday month. Thank you for being with all of us in our joys and sorrows, for your comfort in our sadness, for your companionship in our loneliness, which can be experienced by all. Thank you for yesterday and for today, because tomorrow is a gift. Thank you for friends, for health and grace. May we live this and every day conscious of all that our district has been given and be grateful for it. Thank you. Amen. Amen.
Thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Before we get going too much further, we want to recognize Mr. Clark, seated up here with us. He has been, along with Stacey Anderson, has been elected to another term, and we welcome you here, and we're excited for the possibilities and the good things that we can continue to do. Item 3.2, recognition of legendary staff members. Mr. Housley.
Mr. President, members of the board, before your seats get warm, if you'll come around to the front, and we will recognize some wonderful staff members that we have this evening. We'll invite Mrs. Jaramillo to come up first with her staff members.
Mr. Housley and members of the board, I am excited to present two staff members to you tonight. These ladies came to us about 1.5 years ago, and so I don't know how legendary they are, but my prediction is they're going to be super legendary. They have just been a joy to have on campus. So I'm going to start with Ms. Speroni right here and tell you a few things about her. So during the 1.5 years that I have known you, I have enjoyed working with you. I have found you to be a highly effective educator. You demonstrate knowledge of subject matter that is accurate, current, and developmentally appropriate. You understand how to assess students, provide instruction that will meet the needs of all students. Your lessons take into account different learning styles. I have found you to be collaborative and supportive of your colleagues. You value being part of a learning community and are an asset to the profession. And you demonstrate a caring compassion for students and colleagues alike. So, I like to ask people, what do you think of Speroni? And so these are what your colleagues said about you. Genuine, kind-hearted, soft and powerful. I liked that one. Funny, considerate, loving, and motherly. So I just want to thank you for being at Whipple Ranch. So, and this is Mrs. Coffinger. So as well has been a joy to work with. You have done an excellent job of providing the students with lessons that are well planned for and well implemented to meet their needs. You have many hands-on activities. You incorporate visuals. You pair students together so that you can reach all students. You understand the fundamentals of that phonics instruction for primary grade students, and you always conduct yourself a highly professional manner and have placed children's welfare many times as above your own and as a top priority in your class, in your actions and in your decisions. Your contributions to your grade level team are positive and supportive. You're conscientious, dedicated, and effective. And here's what your colleagues say about you: child-centered, kind, capable, helpful, thoughtful, and compassionate. And we love you.
Love you too.
Get a picture.
You might have to squeeze together for the picture.
Yeah, can you put it that way if you don't mind? That could have been a close call. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Mr. Hall?
Good evening, Mr. Housley and members of the board. It's my honor tonight to bring to you a legendary staff member from Nicholas Homestead. This is Rachel Podol. I'd like to tell you a little bit about Mrs. Podol this evening. Rachel went to school here in Show Low. She graduated from Show Low High School. She earned her bachelor's degree and master's degree from from NAU. When she was getting ready to do her student teaching, I was on the list to be her cooperating teacher. And I feel bad that that didn't happen because I was pursuing the principalship. So I went into the principalship and she moved on to Blue Ridge. Lucky for Blue Ridge, sad for us, but let me just tell you, she's been 15 years in teaching. She's in her 15th year. She taught 11 years at Blue Ridge, and she's been at 4 here in Show Low. We're so thankful that she came back our way. We're very fortunate. Rachel and her husband have a 17-month-old son. He's back in the back. He's a sweet little guy. She's a great mother, and they have a beautiful family. Rachel has much experience in teaching. She's taught 4th, 5th, and 6th grades, and she's also been a reading specialist. She's currently teaching 5th grade at Nicholas Homestead, and she has 29 students in her class. Along with her responsibilities as a 5th grade teacher, she's our 5th grade team leader, and she's also serving on our school intervention team. So she does a lot at our school. I know that Rachel loves being a teacher. It shows in everything she does. She loves her children and is concerned about their growth and their happiness. She's a highly structured and organized teacher. She has high expectations for learning and for behavior. Her classroom is always well managed. Her team members say this about her: Rachel has the ability to organize and lead. She is a great team leader. She shares her ideas and makes sure all the team has a chance to give their ideas and feel valued. This year we have had two new teachers join the 5th grade, and both comment how Rachel has made them feel loved, needed, and welcome. I appreciate that from Rachel. Rachel makes connections with her students. They trust her and respect her. From Rachel's own words, she says, "I love seeing my students light up when they learn something new or create something all on their own. I take great pride in teaching my students to be successful in 5th grade and preparing them for the future." I think that's very well said. Rachel's future goal is to continue to teach in the classroom, and she would love being a reading specialist again or working with curriculum. Please join with me in saying thank you to Rachel and truly recognizing her as one of our legendary staff members. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Clark.
Good evening. It's my privilege to recognize a science teacher from Shola Junior High School, Mrs. Teresa Keim. Something you should know about Mrs. Keim is she is a converted science teacher. She started teaching English at Shola Junior High School, and that's how we first met, teaching across the hall from each other. So that was a great experience. I want to tell you a little bit about Mrs. Keim and the difference she makes for students every day. When the junior high science department essentially disbanded over the summer, Mrs. Keim was the last woman standing. She stepped up to guide 2 veteran teachers who were new to our district and did not hesitate to mentor a teacher not only new to the school, but new to the education profession. Mrs. Keim modeled instruction for this new teacher, sought out observation opportunities for the new teacher to witness other strong instructors, and offered insightful suggestions as to how the new teacher could improve instructional practice. Any administrator would be wise to take heed to the suggestions Mrs. Keim has provided for her mentee with regard to best practices in classroom instruction and how to build and sustain relationships with students. Mrs. Keim has a leadership style which can best be described as a quiet presence. She doesn't like this. She's probably really mad at me too right now. When our leadership team is in a quandary, typically it's Mrs. Keim who's the first one to break the silence and offer a thoughtful, productive suggestion to address any issue facing the school community. She models leadership by always pitching in, sometimes even when she's not asked, like on picture day when she pitched in and helped organize students. And she's always there to provide extra duty and support. Mrs. Keim personifies a cornerstone to the educational experience provided for Shola Junior High School students. And some of her former students sit behind us in the audience with Showbiz. I'm sure they can attest to this. I value her contribution.
Thank you, members of the board. And thank you, teachers, for your efforts. We sure do appreciate you.
Congratulations again and thank you. Moving on to item 3.3, high school showbiz. We'll perform a couple of songs and announce the upcoming Feast of Carols. Mr. Housley?
Well, they don't need an introduction. Look how awesome they are. Mrs. Whipple?
Thank you. Good evening, board members, Mr. Housley. It's a pleasure to be with you tonight. I've brought some of Showbiz with me this evening. We would just like to announce to the school district and to the community the 34th annual Feast of Carols production. As many of you know, this was started 34 years ago by Mr. Scott Gentry, and it has continued. It is a long-lasting tradition here in the city of Show Low and in our district, and it's a very special tradition. And the students and I are excited to keep this going. And so this year, Feast of Carols will take place November 29th and 30th and December 1st. We have 4 shows. The first show is Thursday, November 29th. It is the dessert night show. The tickets are $8. And then on Friday, November 30th and Saturday, December 1st, we have our 6-course evening meal dinner shows. And those tickets are $20. And then our new show that we added last year that we will continue with this year is our Saturday matinee at noon. And it is a soup, salad, and dessert matinee, and those tickets are $15. And we just would like to invite everybody to come and join us. Tickets can be purchased at Loft Green Photography here in Show Low starting next Tuesday, November 13th from 2 to 5 p.m. And those ticket sales will run through the 19th of November. And then any tickets that need to be purchased after that, you can contact Tisha Crandall, and she will set you up with tickets. They do go up in price after Thanksgiving, so get your tickets before Thanksgiving. We're hopeful that we can get everything sold out before then anyway. So just come and see what these wonderful students can do with this amazing production. It's a joy to work with them. I think I have the best job in the district because I get some of the best kids. So I'm thankful for that, and they will put on a show for you. So come and enjoy, and we hope to see you. We're going to sing.
Cynthia,
yes.
Can you tell us how many kids participate in Feast of Carols and talk about the culinary part?
Oh, yes, of course. This year we have a record number. We actually have about 140 kids that are involved in Feast of Carols through the band, the orchestra students, these kids behind me, and then the servant singer students who make up members of the other choir, as well as junior high students. So we've got a lot of them this year. It'll be a very large cast. And then there are probably about 30 culinary students in the advanced classes who will be running the kitchen under the direction of Mr. Crawford in the culinary program. And then all the beginning culinary classes will be doing a lot of the prep work throughout the week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And some of these kids will be giving up their Saturdays to come in and prepare the food for the meals on Saturday, the matinee and the evening show. So probably total, there's about 200 students in the Show Low School District that will be participating in this tradition. So it's pretty cool. So we're excited for it.
Thank you.
Pretty
Any other
awesome.
questions?
The holidays don't start until Feast.
That is true. It's not Christmas without Feast of Carols. So we hope you'll all come and join us and be a part of the show. It is going to be great. And these kids are amazing. So they will put on a show that you will definitely enjoy. So with that said, we're going to sing for you Carol of the Bells, and then they've got to go to rehearsal. So enjoy.
Miss Whipple?
Yes.
Is there a way for them to turn around so that they're on camera? And then
They can change the cameras.
And well, they'll only get their backs, I think.
No, the other night they got them with
Did
the.
it?
Yep, there you go.
Okay, we got them all. Okay, great, super.
Sweet silver bells all seem to say, "Look, there's a word, Christmas is here, bring good cheer to young and old, big and the poor. Ding dong, that is their song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, or in the dance, telling the tale. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding, merry, merry, merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. And they send on without end their joyful tone to every home. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, "Throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, big and the poor. Ding dong, that is their song, with joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, or in the dance, telling the tale. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding merry, merry, merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. And they send on without end their joyful song to every home dome. To every home. Ding dong, ding dong. Bum.
Thank you, guys. Just a small sampling of the talent that we have in this district. Thank you so much. 3.4, Superintendent Report, Mr. Housley.
Members of the board, Mr. President, I'd like to just walk through for the public where they can follow the bond project. And I have a little presentation we'll throw up on the television here. It should be up there here pretty quick. You guys can see it on your deal down at the bottom. Part of the bond, one of the things with the oversight committee we talked about is having a website or somewhere where the community can go and follow the process of the bond project. And so you'll see if someone was to go to our website, and you see that on your screen now, if they were to go to our website and then down in the bottom left part of the screen, you would go there and it says bond website, and you click on the bond website link. Once you click on that, it takes you to a page, and there is the actual page if you just wanted to go right to it without going to our website first. It's slusdbondprojects.com. You'll notice there that you'll see, we'll go ahead and click. You'll see projects and schedules. You can click on that link. Contacts. If you want to contact the contractor or give feedback or ask questions, they will answer questions there. And then each of the sites are represented there on the bottom left of that. If you scroll down to the bottom, if you didn't want to go to the contact area, you can ask questions or comments right there on the bond website, and the contractors and we visit about those in our meetings that we have on a monthly basis. So let's dive into the website just a little bit. If you're on the home page and you hit project and schedules, it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. This is a little Gantt chart that shows you the timelines of the project. Go ahead, Mr. Schubert, and click that one more time and pop that out. You'll notice that schedule there, it gives you the timelines. It tells you when the project is projected to start and when it's projected to end. And you can follow those projects as you go along. That'll be updated if there are changes or there's completions to them. You notice Whipple Ranch Elementary and Show Low High School administrative remodel, those are indicated as complete there. So now if you click into a regular site, you'll see we've highlighted Nicholas Homestead. That project is going to start in December. You can go to that site and you can actually see the floor plan and some of the conceptual designs that will happen with that building. So when we go in December, this is what it will look like as you come in. You can also see in the next slide, you'll see Show Low High School. If we go into Show Low High School, you'll also see completed and photos throughout the project. So this is a completed photo that's actually on the website of the Show Low High School front office and how some of the adjustments were made. There are, it looks like, I think there's 4 or 5 pictures of the project from when it was under demolition all the way to the end, and this is the end, part of the end product. So our website is available, it's up and going, it's connected to our main website. People can start to go and visit it. There'll be information about the bond on that website as it gets loaded. And just a place for people to be able to go. Right now, with only a few projects, we haven't got everything. It'll start to pick up as the projects start to pick up. So we're really excited to have that, and our contractor has provided that for us so that they can keep us informed on their projects and
This is
their
wonderful.
process. Yep.
Wonderful. And I love the visuals that you walked us through how to see it. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. That's my report, Mr. President.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 3.5, approval of 2018-19 school district and school board goals. Mr. Housley.
Mr. President, members of the board, inside your package, you'll see goals that representing the school district goals. These were developed by the school administrative team in our in our work session, our administrative retreat, we dove into them. We reviewed data, some of which you'll see tonight in the presentation, and we've put these goals together to kind of give us direction. We're excited. Some of them will remain in place, or a form of them from last year, because we feel like we're still making progress on those, and they're still good goals to have. So we have a goal for English language arts, and that goal, as you'll see in there, if you wanted to look at the goals, it shows the root cause, why we even started that goal, what the SMART goal is. For instance, Show Low Unified School District will increase student achievement in English language arts by increasing the percentage of students scoring proficient or highly proficient by 5% above the state average, as well as increasing the percentage of students moving out of minimally proficient by 5%. Then there are some action steps that go along with each of these goals. Our math goal is similar to our ELA goal. Then we have a goal about curriculum. Show Low Unified School District will develop consistency across grade levels and content areas by increasing fidelity of beyond textbook implementation and common assessments, PLCs, lesson planning, data-driven instructional practices. And so then you'll see some action steps there. Climate and culture. Relationships are highly valued and essential to professional growth of staff and student success. Show Low schools will build a culture of focused on inclusivity, timely two-way communication, trust, and professionalism as measured by parent, student, and community surveys. We also have one on effective teachers and instruction. Interventions are critical in bridging gaps in academic achievement. Interventions will be provided to students and monitored to increase the percentage of students scoring proficient or highly proficient by 10%, as well as increasing the percentage of students moving out of the minimally proficient category by 10% as measured by the benchmark assessment scores. Mr. President, these are our goals as a school district, as set forth by the administrative team. Also, there are goals in there to consider for you, the school board member goals. And I can't get mine to pull up here right now, but those are in there as content. Thank you. So as a board, you've established the goals of, as a governing board of Show Low Unified School District, we will model the standard in the district, consistently treat fellow board members, the public, and employees with consideration and respect. And number two, make governance decisions based on what each board member believes is in the best interest of the district and the students in the district. Goal number two, as the governing board of Show Low Unified School District, we will maintain a reasonable level of board visibility. We will seek to attend and represent the board at school and community events, attend an event with all school sites, site councils, PTSOs, to promote communication and leadership development. We will also be informed regarding educational issues and politically active when appropriate and possible. Mr. President, members of the board, I bring both our district goals and the goals of the board for your consideration this evening.
Make a motion to approve the school district and board goals.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or comment about this? Okay.
Will these be posted on the website too?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item 3.6, call to the public. Do we have anything? No? Okay. Item 3.7, future board agenda items. Does anybody have anything they'd like to discuss in the future?
We need to announce the change of the meeting for next month.
Okay. You want to do that now or?
We've agreed that it will be on December 11th, location to be determined. If we can have it here, we will do so. If not, it will be at the governing board room, and that will be on Tuesday, December 11th at 6:30 p.m.
Remember, Mr. President, it's important to recognize the reason for that change is that the board will be attending the annual ASBA conference. It's a semi-annual, so this happens the same time every year. So,
thank you very much.
We covered that.
Thank you.
Item 4.1, approval of overnight and out-of-state travel. Mr. Housley.
Members of the board, Mr. President, there are several items for your consideration this evening. Mr. Marchant has 5 items for you to consider. Mr. Hall taking the high school cross-country team to Casa Grande for the Nike Southwest Multi-Regional meet on November 16th and 17th. That will be funded through tax credit and also high school athletics and fundraisers. He also recommends that Mr. Pratt take selected band members to the Central Arizona Honor Band on November 20th through the 21st. That's funded by tax credit. Recommends approval of Nikki Muzzerall taking the ski club and their participants to Purgatory, Colorado on January 30th through February 2nd. That is funded through fundraising and tax credit and parent payments. Also recommends the approval of Mr. Hall to take the high school Spanish club and its members to the annual Mexico exchange trip in Hermosillo, Mexico. That's March 14th through the 18th. Tax credit, fundraisers, and the Shola Youth Foundation are covering those expenses. He also recommends Mr. Gillespie to be able to take the high school robotics club to Alamogordo, New Mexico for the robotics tournament on January 11th through the 13th. Mr. President, members of the board, I ask for your approval of these trips as outlined.
I motion for approval of overnight and out-of-state travel as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item 4.2, district achievement data. Mr. Housley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the board, I'd like to talk about some of the great things our students and teachers are doing in the Shola Unified School District. I think we have this to pull up on one of the PowerPoints there. It's coming. Just recently, the Arizona Department of Education released our letter grades. That criteria is set by the State Board of Education. It is going to change again this year, just so everyone knows. So that target's continuing to move. After the label came out, I sent out a mailer to all staff. I gave it to the newspaper and also to published it on Peach Jar, outlining kind of some of the highlights of our testing, our scores. Apologize if it's not going to show up on the TV, but I'd like to just point out a few things. In 2016-17, Whipple Ranch was labeled as not, they didn't have a rating, and the purpose for that is because they're a K-2 school and state testing starts in 3rd grade. And so schools that don't have a 3rd grade, they don't get a label. Also, that would be the same for this year for the 17-18. Linden Elementary School in 2016-17 was labeled a D school, which means that they were minimally performing. This year, their label was a C, which means performing, and they just barely missed a B. So significant improvements in Linden over the course of last year, and we're just seeing great things happening there. No reason why there's not going to be super improvement this next year either. Nicholas Homestead was a mid to low B last year. They were our lone B in last year's labels. This year, they just barely, we're talking fractions of less than 1 point away from an A, which is significant for Nicholas Homestead. We're really excited about their achievement. Shola Junior High and Shola High School last year were both labeled as C's. Both of them were mid to upper B's this year, and right within our reach, just points away. And so we're seeing significant